You know where I stand.
John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that has not come my Christian faith.
How we are seeing God, our theology, is not the same. And what we both mean when we say, I am a Christian, is not the same thing.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
Officials at Georgetown University covered a monogram symbolizing the name of Jesus because it was inscribed on the stage where the president spoke Tuesday. The White House asked for all symbols to be covered at the lecture hall.
My administration is now committed to diplomacy that addresses the full range of issues before us and to pursuing constructive ties among the United States, Iran,
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei told a crowd Saturday the U.S. offers Iran little more than a slogan of change.
You know where I stand.
One of us must go to his grave, he declared. We do not want to go to the grave. They in the West do not want to go to their grave either. We must push them to their grave.
As we talked face to face, he indicated that my grandchildren would live under communism.
Hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Оглядывайтесь, мы вас не добили под Сталинградом, на Украине, в Беларуси. Против нас и будете опять готовить нападение, мы так ухнем.
Obama's gonna change it, Obama's gonna lead 'em. We're gonna change it and rearrange it. We're gonna change the world.
After assuring him that I expected to do all in my power to assure that his and all other grandchildren will live under freedom, he arrogantly declared in substance, "You Americans are so gullible. No, you won't accept communism outright. But we'll keep feeding you small doses of socialism until you'll finally wake up and find you already have communism."
And guess what this liberal would be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, would be about basically taking over and the government running all of your companies.
We won't have to fight you. We'll so weaken your economy until you fall like overripe fruit into our hands.
Subprime lending started off as a good idea, helping Americans buy homes who previously couldn't afford to.
Fannie Mae itself has had a program since 1994 to invest $1 trillion in targeted lending aimed at those who were not able to get mortgages in the past in urban areas, racial minorities.
Mr. Raines, $1.1 million bonus on a $526,000 salary.
They play by their own rules, and I'm tempted to ask how many people in this room are in the payroll of Fannie Mae.
You seem to be saying, well, these are in areas which could raise safety and soundness problems. I don't see anything in your report that raises safety and soundness problems.
I think the responsibility that the Democrats have may rest more in resisting any efforts by Republicans in the Congress or by me when I was president to put some standards and tighten up a little on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae.
I don't see anything in your report that raises safety and soundness problems.
They encouraged very bad mortgages to be made by banks and other institutions because Fannie and Freddie would buy them.
Eventually, they bought trillions of dollars worth of mortgages, a substantial portion of them based on poor credit, then resold many of them to financial institutions who thought they were safe because the federal government was behind them.
In this country has not always been willing to make the sacrifice that's necessary to bring about a new day and a new age.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
But the Supreme Court never ventured into the issues of redistribution of wealth and sort of more basic issues of political and economic justice in the society. And to that extent, as radical as I think people try to characterize the Warren Court, it wasn't that radical. It didn't break free from the essential constraints that were placed by the Founding Fathers in the Constitution. Because the Civil Rights Movement became so court-focused, I think that there was a tendency to lose track of the political and community organizing and activities on the ground that are able to put together the actual coalitions of power through which you bring about redistributive change.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
My presidency will mark a new chapter in America's leadership on climate change.
But I think it is important for us to send some price signals to change behavior. Number one, we're going to have to start doing a better job of conserving on energy. I mean, what I've said is that we would put a cap and trade system in place that is as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than anybody else's out there. So if somebody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted. If we want to do something serious about that, it's not going to be painless. We're going to have to cap the emission of greenhouse gases. That means the power plants are going to have to adjust how they generate power. They will pass on those costs to consumers.
It will also help us transform our industries and steer our country out of this economic crisis.
And I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
Have we really achieved full communism? Is this it? Is this now full communism? And the other one said, oh, hell no, things are going to get a lot worse.
As president, I will end misguided defense policies. I will cut investments in unproven missile defense systems. I will not weaponize space. I will slow our development of future combat systems. I will not develop new nuclear weapons. And I will negotiate with Russia to take our ICBMs off hair trigger alert. As president, my sole priority for defense spending will be protecting the American people. You know where I stand.
I just want all of you to pray that I can be an instrument of God. I'm confident that we can create a kingdom right here on earth.
That my individual salvation is not going to come about without a collective salvation for the country. My individual salvation depends on our collective salvation.
My individual salvation depends on our collective salvation.
Our individual salvation depends on collective salvation.
Barack has captured the youth, and he has involved young people in a political process that they didn't care anything about. Because of Obama. 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 Obama, we erased America. Yes, we did. That's a sign. When the Messiah speaks, the youth will hear. And the Messiah is absolutely speaking.
Black theology will accept only the love of God, which participates in the destruction of the white enemy. What we need is the divine love as expressed in black power, which is the power of black people to destroy their oppressors here and now by any means at their disposal. Unless God is participating in this holy activity, we must reject his love.
You will never get real freedom and recognition between black and white people in this country without destroying the country, without destroying the present political system, without destroying the present economic system, without rewriting the entire Constitution. It will be a complete destruction of everything that America supposedly stands for.
Only Malcolm X autobiography seemed to offer something different. Promised a new and uncompromising order.
Sometimes it's easier to hold on to your own stereotypes and misconceptions. It makes you feel justified in your ignorance. That's America.
So it's not surprising then that they get better and they cling to guns or religion or antipathy towards people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment, and a way to explain their frustrations.
You know where I stand.